Let's go to the Auckland Council planners wanting to overturn some of the key features of the city's rewritten Unitary Plan. Todd Niall is in the studio with us now with a huge wad of papers on the desk, and that's only about half the material you were given this afternoon, is it, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, this is 300 pages. This is half of what has gone out to Auckland councillors who from Wednesday onwards have to decide which parts of the Unitary Plan as recommended by the Independent Hearings Panel to accept and which parts to reject. And the bulk of it they're being recommended to accept, but there are some key things that the council says, no, we're going to contest that.
Talk us through them in order of magnitude. Now, obviously, you haven't been able to assess this forensically, but what do you think are the big things? Well,
interestingly, we heard from the council a couple of weeks ago that the findings, their initial skim of the findings from the panel supported the idea of the city, up to 70% up and 40% outside in the rural areas. What they're now saying is the way it's worded, that the 70-40 split is actually removed as a policy, and that's been kind of the guiding light for Auckland's planning. So the council is saying, no, we have to oppose the rejection of the 70-40 split and put that back in the plan as its kind of underlying policy. The other interesting thing, which we've talked about before, is the panel said there were 2,200 sites deemed to be of value or significance to Māori. These would have a layer of protection put over them. Developments that may pose a risk to them would have to be consulted over. The panel said, no, there's not enough evidence to support having those in, take them out. The council has said, no, the panel made a mistake. The evidence is there, and those 2,213 sites should go back in the plan as protected sites.
With consultation, extra consultation required.
Yeah, it doesn't mean nothing can happen, but if something's happening around them that's deemed to be relevant to them, then Māori get to consult.
OK, forgive me, listeners, for using a lazy shorthand, but everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say this. The kind of debate around the character of the leafy suburbs, for want of a better term. What's been the council response to that?
The panel said we want to take out a thing called the pre-1944 overlay, which again was not complete protection, but a degree of protection for those villas and those areas that had pre-1944 houses in them, the old villas. The councillor said, actually, fair cop, we don't see grounds for keeping that in there, so we'll let that be scrapped. That's probably not going to go down too well either with people in those suburbs, but that was seen as coming.
So at first blush, to summarise, this is not outrageously controversial, is it?
No. I mean, the people in those suburbs are going to be upset about it, but there are other interesting findings as well. There's been a bit of publicity in the last couple of weeks for a historic heritage volcanic area in South Auckland called Crater Hill, almost like a mini Lake Taupo, Crater Lake, which the panel had said, no, we're going to zone that for housing. The councillor said, no, you've missed some key things there. It's prime soil, needs to be protected. It's in the Mana Whenua site zone. So the councillor is saying, no, we actually want to prevent that area from being developed for housing. So that'll be an interesting one too.
Gosh, it's fascinating, isn't it, Todd?
7 days of meetings coming up on it.
Right. Thanks, Todd Niall, analysing the papers very quickly this afternoon. We appreciate it.